Hey Virginia is sponsored in part by
The Factory Antique Mall, now the largest antique mall in America, with 121,000 square feet of antiques and collectibles and over 200 dealers. A true shopping destination located off exit 227 on I-81 in Verona. FactoryAntiqueMall.com.
Get on home, sing me a merry Sunday. Hey, Virginia, what's going on? Hey, Virginia, what's going on? What you doing? Where you going? What you thinking?
Hello, I'm Kate Martin, and welcome to our latest summer edition of Hey Virginia. There's a lot of fun stuff going on this time of year in the Valley, so feel free to use us as a guide to the events, concerts, and arts that are happening all around you. Today, join us as Hey Virginia travels to Natural Bridge, Virginia. We'll explore the ancient formation known as the Natural Bridge. The bridge's path then leads us to the Monacan Indian exhibit, where we will see firsthand the Monacan Indians' way of life and their connection to the Natural Bridge. We'll learn about the annual Red Wing Roots Music Festival, where good music and the outdoor beauty of Natural Chimneys Park meet. We'll also visit the garden maze at Luray Caverns, where getting lost is fun in one of the largest hedge mazes in the world. All this and so much more is coming up next on Hey Virginia. The summer sunshine is here, and so are the many exciting festivals the summer brings. Here's a list of some of the festivals you won't want to miss this year. Natural Bridge, Virginia is filled with natural beauty and culture. We recently had the fortune to visit both the Natural Bridge and the engaging Monacan Indian Living History exhibit at Natural Bridge Park. Once owned by Thomas Jefferson for 20 shillings, the Natural Bridge is an ancient wonder carved by erosion and time. The Monacan Indians used the Natural Bridge as escape from advancing enemies, cementing the bridge's stay in Monacan lore. Join us now as we take a closer look at these living historical sites.
Here at the Natural Bridge and Monacan Indian Living History exhibit inside Natural Bridge Park, you can walk through an ancient world and meet an indigenous people who have lived off this land for more than 300 years.
The Natural Bridge is 215 feet tall, 100 feet wide, and 60 feet long, 90 foot from span to span. The Natural Bridge is a natural creation, which is fundamentally based upon erosion and weathering. It's a process that took millions and millions of years. The Natural Bridge rests upon a karst system. Our karst system relates specifically to underground caverns, fissures, crevices, and underground water. Monacan people have a rich tradition related to the Natural Bridge, and in their time and place, this was indeed a sacred bridge. And there are many legends associated with the bridge that relate to the Indian people. However, many of these legends, we're not too sure whether they're actually Native American or if they were made up by the settlers in order to explain away the Natural Bridge as well. We know that by the time that the first settlers arrived into the region, the Indian people that had once occupied the area were now gone.
Natural Bridge is a one-of-a-kind place. It is 1,600 acres of cultural history, ancient cultural history, and incredible biodiversity. It's unusual in Virginia for places to be able to trace their heritage directly back to the original indigenous people. And it's unusual in Virginia for specific places to be able to trace their ownership back to original kings' grants. And we can do both of that here at Natural Bridge. Visitors to Natural Bridge have a rare opportunity to engage in a truly authentic representation of Monacan culture. So the indigenous people to this area, perhaps here as long as 10,000 years ago, were the Monacan people. We are thrilled to be able to share the culture of that early people here on site.
The one thing that we're really proud about is that even though we're educating people, we are actually preserving our culture. So here at Natural Bridge, where we do conservation, recreation, and education, at this exhibit, I consider preservation as a part of those other three things. We are preserving our history, we're preserving the way that we survived.
History and the beautiful land it was written in is waiting for you here at Natural Bridge Park.
Hey Virginia had the pleasure of meeting one of Charlottesville's very talented fine artists and illustrators. He has made his living as a medical illustrator and now continues his artistic journey through orating, collecting, and modifying war action figures and creating fine art with a signature technique that makes color pencil impressions look like watercolor paintings. Please join us as we explore an artist's world.
Charlottesville, Virginia is a city filled with talented artists and musicians. And one such artist lives near the heart of the city. He is an illustrator, a portrait painter, and a fine artist, and he goes by the name Frank Walker. Won't you join us as we sit down and talk to this local prodigy?
Since childhood, we used to read comic books. We used to emulate comic books, my brother and myself. And we would draw from comic books and just started drawing everything that was visible. And the kicker was, I guess the most influential thing was that we had, this is Frances Brand, the Purple Lady, gave us a show, a backyard art show. Took some clothespins and strung some paintings on a clothesline. And we sold a couple. I think between all four of us, we may have made $25. And we said, man, this is what we want to do. So my brother became an artist, as did I. The Charlottesville grows. I think so does the art community or the creative community grows here. Most things here in Charlottesville were traditional, like for instance, like the Lee statue, those kind of traditional things. Now those things are turning about, like they have the photographic show on the mall. They're probably, since I was a kid, there's probably 20 galleries as opposed to there was only one. When I joined the military, it was volunteer. I hadn't gotten drafted, wanted to do something, needed a job, and the military was a perfect place for me. My first choice was to go to Vietnam, but they weren't sending anyone else to Vietnam. They sent us all to Germany. And so that is what the military taught me. You do whatever you do it well, and do it to the end of the day. I'd do shows at military shows, and I would do talks. Usually when I did a show, I'd have the African American soldiers out, because I'd see African American kids come by and they had no idea that their parents or their uncles had served at such a time. And even historically, I'm a historian as well, that African American soldiers actually had participated in every fight in this nation's history. And so to tell those stories, like most people would not even realize that they were black Confederate soldiers. My favorite medium would be pencil, or some people refer to it technically as graphite. That's my favorite, and then it would be watercolor, then oils, and color pencil. I'd have a technique with color pencil. It's called painting with pencils, and it is very short strokes, layered color, which look more like a painting than they do a drawing. But it's I've learned various techniques from being in the illustration business. For myself, I just always liked to draw ever since I was a child. Just drawing. And I do this every day. It's probably not a day that doesn't go by that I don't doodle or draw something.
Frank Walker's fine art can be found on display permanently in downtown Charlottesville.
This month's Sound Showcase features the Red Wing Roots Music Festival and its organizers, the Steel Wheels. The festival itself kicks off July 8th at Natural Chimneys Park and Campground in Mount Solon, Virginia. The Red Wing Roots Music Festival is the brainchild of national recording artists and hometown heroes, the Steel Wheels. We had an opportunity to sit down with singer-songwriter Trent Wagler to discuss his band and how the Red Wing Roots Music Fest became one of Virginia's most exciting summer concert festivals.
Turn off the noise, I'll light you a candle. I've been gone on the road too long. Lend me this moment.
I mean, roots music, I think, it's a broad sense and a broad genre of music that includes I guess what it has to do with when you talk about roots is the beginnings of the different forms of what we consider to be American music. But a lot of music derives from the blues. So you have old country and old time music that also, some of that stuff all mixed together became things called bluegrass. And so all of that music, whether it's jug band music or old ragtime, could be considered a certain kind of roots music.
In the summer sun, 1981, the day was long till I heard the song whistle like the wind, and I was standing.
The Steel Wheels is a band that we have, for a long time, we've not chosen to, we've never decided to wanted to be a bluegrass band or an old country band or just a folk band, but we really are inspired by a lot of that different music. And so we call ourselves Americana Roots. It's because we really sometimes have those influences that include Irish music and sometimes even a little bit of Cajun music and blues. And we try to sort of stir it up in the little pot that is ourselves and kind of put out what feels true to us.
One pool, soft living's gonna keep us together. I don't wanna be a young man long. Work till I'm done, then I sing my song, baby.
Honestly, I think the highlight has been starting Red Wing, starting the music festival here in the area. After a few years of us being out there touring full time and seeing and experiencing beautiful festivals, we came back home and kept coming back home at the end of trips and saying, man, we could do that. We could do that here. There's no reason that the Shenandoah Valley and specifically the Harrisonburg area couldn't have a music festival that was just as good as if not better. We found some key partners in some folks right here in Harrisonburg, Black Bear Productions, that they at the time were also looking to take on a project, and they have been so great at creating the culture and creating and dealing with the details. I also should mention that partnering with Augusta County and the parks there, because we do it at Natural Chimneys Park in Mount Solon, that was so key, that Augusta County was forward-thinking enough to say, yes, we want to have this festival here, even though, it's a big idea to suddenly welcome maybe 2,000 to 3,000 people into one of your parks like that. And so they've been really supportive from the beginning. We've really enjoyed working with them, and the park is a perfect and beautiful spot for a music festival.
July 4th represents the date of the United States independence, and with it, the American dream was born. We recently had the opportunity to speak with some very special centenarians about their American dream and if the values of yesterday withstand the test of time.
Redream is an immersive digital-first project taking a look at what it means to make it in the 21st century. How do people define success, and how do they prepare themselves to reach it? WVPT PBS Harrisonburg asked 3 senior citizens over the age of 100 to participate in the Redream program by sharing with us their American dream for the rest of the world.
Try to be content where you are.
I think it's important to receive an attitude of acceptance as well as giving.
Our oldest person we have here is Goldie Miller. She is 107. Goldie, raise your hand. 107.
An old man going a lone highway came at evening cold and gray to a chasm vast and deep and wide. The old man paused in the twilight dim. The sullen stream held no fear for him, but he turned when safe on the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. Old man, said a fellow pilgrim near, you're wasting your time by building here. Your journey will end with the ending day. You never again will pass this way. You've crossed the chasm deep and wide. Why build you this bridge at eventide? The builder lifted his old gray head. Good friend, in the path I come, he said, there follows after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. This chasm, which has been as naught to me, to that fair-haired youth a pitfall may be. He too must cross in the twilight dim. Good friend, I'm building this bridge for him.
The Garden Maze at Luray Caverns is a great place to get lost. There are many twists and turns in this maze that is the largest hedge maze in the Mid-Atlantic states. So prepare yourself to be challenged by this incredible puzzle, while also being entertained by your own puzzlement.
The Garden Maze at Luray Caverns is the largest and most popular hedge maze in the United States of America. Here's John Schneider on the subject.
Hi, welcome to the Garden Maze. I'm John Schneider, and let me tell you a little bit about your experience here today. Don't worry about a thing. You'll enter the Garden Maze and you'll find your way out. We jokingly tell our guests that we get everyone out at midnight, so don't worry about a thing. The maze is counterintuitive and tricky. If you need to go right, it is often necessary to go left in order to get right. The design of the maze is a diamond inscribed in the center of a square. This means that the pathways start out to be joining each other perpendicularly in the square part of the maze, but when they hit the diamond, things get tricky. Now it becomes a diagonal. The neat thing about the diagonal paths found in the diamond part of the maze is that they transport you from one sector of the maze to another. You may start in the upper right side of the maze, hit a diagonal, and then be magically transported through the looking glass and end up in a totally different sector of the maze. Things get even more convoluted because there's a tower which allows the paths of the maze to pass over one another. This once again transports you from one sector of the maze to another. When our guests enter the Garden Maze, they are given mission cards, which are handy to help them record their way through the maze. There are 4 hidden goals within the maze. Each one has a stamper on it attached to it. Guests are asked to take the stamper, stamp their card, and find their way to the next goal. The 4 goals combine to tell a message about the Garden Maze. I became fascinated with garden mazes when I visited them in England. It seemed to be a great project to bring across the pond to the United States.
For a fresh air family adventure, the Garden Maze at Luray Caverns should not be missed.
Sweet, sweet love, you next to me. Sunday morning, under the palm tree. Sweet, sweet love, just you and I. In the house by the ocean, underneath the lavender sky. You and I love sweet devotion. You and I share real emotion. You and I are always open. You and I were meant to be. You and I love sweet devotion. You and I share real emotion. You and I are always open. You and I were meant to be. Sweet, sweet love, you in my arms. Another night of love, another night of your charms. Sweet, sweet love, the way you look at me. Our life, our love is a wonderful. Sad dream. You and I love sweet devotion. You and I share real emotion. You and I are always open. You and I were meant to be. You and I love sweet devotion. You and I share real emotion. You and I are always open. You and I were meant to be. We're meant to be. We're meant to be. We're meant to be. We're meant to be. You and I love sweet devotion. You and I share real emotions. You and I are always open. You and I were meant to be.
Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed this edition of Hey Virginia. If you have an event you'd like to feature, contact us. If you have a video to share on air, send it our way. And if you like what you see, check out our Facebook page, and please don't be shy about pressing the like button. Until the next time, I'm Kate Martin. See you soon.
Hey, Virginia, what's going on? Hey, Virginia, what's going on? What you doing? Where you going? What you thinking?
Hey Virginia was sponsored in part by
The Factory Antique Mall, now the largest antique mall in America, with 121,000 square feet of antiques and collectibles and over 200 dealers. A true shopping destination located off exit 227 on I-81 in Verona. FactoryAntiqueMall.com.
If you like what you see, support WVPT. Go to WVPT.net and click on the Support Now button.